Sometimes I wonder if I'm not ready to be a mom, because my cat screams a lot. Hi besties, welcome back. I'm so happy you are here today. That's gonna bother me. This is our first monthly wrap-up of the year. We're gonna be talking about January reads. I thought about also doing December, but you know, I did like a tier ranking video. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out because I tier ranked every book I read last year and I feel like that was adequate enough for a December wrap-up. We're just gonna start fresh, clean slate on a January wrap-up. And I'm really excited about it, by the way. So without further ado, grab a snack, get some water, and let's hop right into the video. Out of all the books that I read last month, I read a total of 8 books, which I think is pretty good. I had a good reading month. Out of all the books, I read 1 literary fiction book, 3 fantasy books, and 4 romance books. I think 8 books is actually really good. Now that we're done with the statistics, let's get right into the books I read. We'll see how long my bangs bother me. The first book I finished and read in the month of January was Kristen Hanna's Winter Garden. So what ends up happening is there's this woman and she came from Soviet Union Russia during World War II, ends up moving to the United States, gets married and has a couple kids, and their mother is very cold and very withdrawn from her daughters. As they're now older and they are estranged from their mother, they are being called back home because their father is getting really sick, and basically his last wish is for them to rekindle the relationship with their mother. Throughout this story, you're kind of learning about the mother and the daughters and the impact that their lives have been, and it is just honestly a beautiful story. If you haven't read a Kristen Hanna book before, they are very gut-wrenching. They are usually on the historical fiction side of fiction. They have a lot of serious topics that are always broached. This one in particular holds a lot of grief, so if you are okay with handling grief, then I think you would really like this book. I'd say this is a 4-star for me. I have read one other Kristen Hanna book before, and that was Firefly Lane, and that one was really good. I liked it, but for some reason I kind of resonated with this book a little bit more. I had a really good time reading it. It did make me cry a little bit, but I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm an emotional reader, so I cry very easily in books. It's not hard to make me cry. It is a stereotypical Kristen Hanna book. It is a little slow in the beginning. It takes some time to get into, but it's like as soon as you kind of hit that halfway mark, because she's really building up the plot and the story, it really just takes off. I'd highly recommend a Kristen Hanna book if you haven't read her books before. So the next 2 books I want to talk about is the tandem read. I did this beefy chunk last month. So I read Empire of Storms. This was a 5-star for me, and this was a 4-star, 4.5 for Tower of Dawn. This was so much fun. If you haven't read Throne of Glass before and you're thinking about doing the tandem read, I highly recommend it because there's so much information that you're getting in Tower of Dawn that probably wouldn't hit right if you just read it on its own. Like, I mean, it would hit, but how like things are progressing in Empire of Storms, the extra information you get out of here, it just makes this like one book. This was so good. This was my first 5-star of the year. This one has my entire heart. This is probably my favorite out of all of them. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I love Tower of Dawn too, but this just like takes the cake. There is so much in this book. The character development, the progression of the story, how things are happening, literally the next point of how this entire series is supposed to wrap up. I cannot believe there's only 1 book left in this entire series, and I've been slowly reading these and I've been loving it. I'm milking it. I'm having such a blast. And if you guys haven't read Throne of Glass before, this please be your calling to read it, because this was so good. These characters have my entire heart. The next book I read after that would be The Outlaw. This is the 3rd book in the Hayden family series by Jennifer Milliken. I've talked about this series a lot on this channel and I rant and rave about it. I was so excited for it because this is following my favorite Hayden brother, which would be Wyatt. Wyatt is the black sheep. He is this misunderstood, the naughty cowboy. He's always getting into trouble. He's always doing things he shouldn't be, and his family just kind of looks at him like, you're kind of doing all the wrong things in life. You really need to get your act together. Wyatt gets arrested and the only way for him to not go to jail is by him doing community service. Well, there's this girl named Jo who just bought some property out in this small town, and Wyatt's community service is helping Jo fix this farm up because it's literally a dump. The thing about Wyatt and Jo is they have a past. Some things didn't really get cleared up very well, so they're kind of like, they're not on good footing right now. So this is the story of Wyatt and Jo, and I thought it was cute. Here I am thinking that this guy is supposed to be a rough around the edges, like, bad boy, but he's such a simp, and I don't like saying that, but he is. All of the things that we're seeing, like the crumbs of Wyatt that we would get in the other books, and here I am like building him up in my head about being this character, and for me he flopped. I think he was too soft, and I don't think there's anything wrong with a soft guy, like, don't get me wrong with that, but I wanted a little bit more aggressiveness out of him. I think I wanted him more gruff and unapproachable, but he could still do the good intentions in like that kind of aspect. How he was painted in the other books wasn't at all portrayed in this one, so it makes me a little bummed out. I was a bit bummed by this one, and I didn't give it no more than a 3-star, and I think that's like pushing it. I probably give this like a 2.5. If you loved this book, I'm happy for you. I just was a little disappointed. The next book I actually ended up finishing was The Conjuring of Light. This is the last book in the Shades of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. Oh my gosh, what an amazing ending. I thought that this was absolutely perfect. In the first book, we meet this guy named Kel. I would like to call him a magician. And as a magician, he's able to jump in between parallel universes of London. And all of the Londons are a little bit different. And so Kel, our main character, is in a grey London and accidentally gets pickpocketed by Delilah Bard. I love Lila. If you guys are looking for like a sneak thief girl that is no nonsense and a badass, you gotta meet Delilah, because her entire character development in all 3 of these books is insane, and the ending of this book is just perfect. It's perfect fantasy. I feel like it's like not hard to understand, the world is easy to grasp, and the magic system is fairly simple. So if you want like a beginner fantasy book, I actually would highly recommend the Shades of Magic trilogy. And it also has LGBTQ representation in here if you're really into that kind of thing. So there's that, but quite honestly, Delilah Bard is my favorite, and there's pirates in these books, and the sword fighting is fun, the magic system is cool, there's a small subplot of romance in here. If this is your sign to read The Darker Shade of Magic, I highly, highly recommend it. And the last 3 books that I read last month is Kiss the Sky, Hot House Flower, and Thrive by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So, Hot House Flower and Kiss the Sky, this is book 1 and book 2 of the Calloway Sisters series, and I believe this is book 4 in the Addicted series. And both Krista and Becca Ritchie recommend reading the Addicted Calloway Sisters series as both of them combined. This is Rose and Connor's book. I love Connor, and I love Rose. I don't think I can ever tell anybody how much I'm obsessed with a couple more than these guys, and it's a hard one because I love Daisy and Reich too, okay, but we'll get there. Connor is this egotistical, arrogant, super smart, cunning, lovable guy, and he has the biggest soft spot for Rose Calloway. Rose, if you haven't been going through the series, is kind of got some stuff going on, and in this one it's kind of like a Kardashian kind of show. She's putting on this reality TV show, and this is them trying to like navigate this new lifestyle that they have to go through. Connor and Rose are just this perfect, nerdy, dynamic duo. This guy, to calm her down, speaks French. I love French. He may not believe in fate, but I do, and I know I'm fated to be with him. You're not a pit stop, you're my finish line. There's no one after you. I want you for eternity, not for a brief moment in time. Be still my beating heart. I love Rose and Connor so much. I am, me personally, am rose-coded, but I'm a little nerdy like Lily. I'm definitely rose-coded with a little bit of Lily in me. I finished this book and I gave this borderline a 5-star book. This is 4.5 stars. What did I rate this? 4.5. But then I thought things couldn't get better until I got to Reich's book. And I've been looking forward to Reich and Daisy from the beginning. Literally since Ricochet. I have been looking forward to Daisy and Reich. He's an asshole. He's arrogant also. I'm pretty sure he's tattooed. He is so down bad for Daisy, okay? And the entire time this entire story has been going, they can't be together. Daisy has a lot of PTSD and she has a lot of trauma. And the only person she's ever really been able to rely on or even go to is Reich. And Reich has just been her person through everything, and they always stuck close as friends. They are only to be friends and no more, no less. This is like Daisy's redemption. Daisy finally gets to be her. And it was amazing seeing how Daisy was from the other books to now, especially with Reich. Reich is her rock, or she calls him her wolf, her protector. Oh, I love them. The Calloway Sisters series have my heart. Oh, I can't really like talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil things for you. She's the sun, I'm the dark. If she's gone, I can kiss the fucking light away. Without her, I know I'll never see it again. Also, in the very beginning of this book, it says a letter from Reich because he is known in all the books to have a very foul mouth and he never stops. So he's just like, I'm gonna curse a lot. And this is just who I am. And if you don't like that, too fucking bad. And then the last one that I finished was Thrive. So this is the story in Lily and Lo's perspective of what happens in Kiss the Sky and Hothouse Flowers. So all the things that were happening in those two books is covered in this one. It is like a rehash of what I read, which I found a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie, because it was a rehashing. Like I felt like a lot of it I didn't need, but they themselves, like Krista and Becca Ritchie, have said like they thought that Lauren and Lily needed to have like their side told as well because they're in that world, and I completely get that, you know. But because I read all three of these books back to back to back, this started to drag because I'm like, yeah, I know this happened. Yes, I know Lauren like acted like this. Yes, I know, but I mean, we get his reasoning behind it. There's stuff going on with Lily that we don't really know what's going on. So, I mean, it's nice to get like basically a full story with a little extra in here because there is a continuation of what happens, obviously at the end of this, to go into the next book. I don't know, because I read them back to back to back, I felt it dragging for me. I did not like this one as much. If I didn't read Hothouse Flower and Kiss the Sky, I think this might be higher. Or if I gave them space in between, I'll stop after this, I'll read a couple more books, and then come back to this. Having like a rehash wouldn't hurt so much, and I probably would have rated it higher. And I liked it. It was cute. There is no Lily without Lo, and there's no Lo without Lily. That's just how they are. They are legit like two peas in a pod. They are best friends forever. They are soulmates. He will love with his entire being, and it shows. I definitely recommend the entire Addicted to Calloway Sister series. 1000% obsessed with it. That's that. Here is all of the books in January. I'm very happy about this. I did have a reading vlog. From here down, my audio just like took a poop. So that isn't gonna happen. The light of day of these books isn't gonna be there, and I'm sorry. So I read these. I read 8 books last month, and I'm really happy about them, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to hit like, follow, and subscribe. It helps me out. If you click that little bell there in the corner, you'll be notified every time I upload. So if you could do that, that would be amazing, because it helps me out a lot. I hope you're having a good day, because you deserve it, bestie, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! I give you touches on there. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Oh, bye-bye!